A large number of financial experts are predicting a swift recovery for the Indian economy. Some have said that it might even be the fastest in the world. In the face of the biggest and most challenging situation world economies had ever faced, and using a tactic very different from the rest of the world, how has India managed this massive feat? Hello and namaste, welcome to New India Junction. I am Richa Dwivedi, and today let's talk about how India managed to infuse within its economy exactly what we needed and how that's different from the rest of the world. Before we begin, let's just take a look at these headlines. This one from Hungary, this from Brazil, these from Chile, the Philippines and Greece, and these from the USA. The common thread is the financial stimulus handed out to the public, be it checks or cash transfers. It's also natural that developing and emerging economies would follow those that are developed, especially when there's a crisis as big as the COVID-19 pandemic. But did they ever stop, pause and think? If that was what they needed, would printing and doling out money in an effort to boost demand actually help? The COVID-19 pandemic is here to stay. We are still witnessing cases by the thousands. In a crisis that was to continue for at least a few years, was it right to go big once and then stop? It seems not. Reports and economists suggest that big spenders are suffering from higher inflation, currency depreciation, and higher interests with no real economic recovery in sight. In fact, if we compare just the emerging markets, it becomes evident that those that spent heavily, like Hungary, Brazil, the Philippines, and Greece, had a slower economic recovery when compared with those that spent less, say Taiwan, South Korea, and Mexico. Simply put, financial handouts have no effect on purchasing power. Moreover, emerging economies cannot avoid being unbalanced if there is too much spending and overindulgence. But that doesn't mean a stimulus isn't needed. It simply means we need a different stimulus for different economic setting to achieve maximum benefit. And that's what we did. First off, the Prime Minister Modi-led government of India ensured food security by maintaining a free supply of food grains to 80 crore Indians under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. This in turn ensured that most vulnerable sections were protected. Secondly, the government focused on infrastructure development that not only generated massive levels of employment, it provided sustained sources of income. The higher MNREGA wages and the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Yojana was of course an added bonus. Simultaneously, asset monetization enabled reduced non-performing assets for the banking sector, making it possible for loans to be available at lower interest rates for emerging and new entities. The third facet was using reforms, be it labor, drones, or EPFO, to allow businesses the opportunity to grow and expand, thereby strengthening income sources. The fourth and possibly the most important aspect is healthcare. Not only did we utilize the first lockdown to strengthen public health services, the lightning pace at which India vaccinated its people, 100 crore in just over 280 days, enabled us to open up. It allowed people the opportunity to step out. It paved the way for a return to normalcy. These reforms boosted the supply side of the economy, and that in turn generated employment, which allowed India's purchasing power to grow. Our ingenious stimulus and Atmanirbhar packages created a demand that was real and long-lasting for an economic recovery that was true and swift. All this because the government understood what we needed, that if the most vulnerable were protected, positivity would echo across the economy. That rather than just pumping money, making it easier for businesses to grow would eventually achieve the result we needed. The growing number of unicorns and a resurgent IT sector are testaments to this fact. We hope this trajectory, be it public investments, healthcare achievements, and the resultant economic recovery, continues its upward trend. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Until then, remember to stay safe and healthy. Dhanyavad and Namaste.